This thought come to my mind again about today situation in United States and beginning of the 20th century, the Russian Revolution. People in America, people in the Western world in general, so duped to think to not be interested in causes, real causes of Russian Revolution, real causes of revolutionary movements in Germany, in Britain. People so get used to live in this system, in this capitalism that we have in right now, that they not interested in understanding the causes of revolutions that happened 100 years ago. And that was done purposely, for purpose to distract people from real revolutionary movements, from understanding the causes that caused those revolutions. And again, as I already said, that if you blame some particular group of people, Jews or Bolsheviks or I don't know, it doesn't matter who, in this case, you blaming them and you took away attention from the real cause of the revolution. That 100 years ago, conditions provided by capitalism was so awful, so ridiculously bad, that majority of the people led it, of course, by educated people, but in this case, educated people was just simply at least a poor nobility or nobility, even some Tsar family members was revolutionaries. And understanding of it, that this movement was really pushed from the bottom, that this idea, that this need for revolution, for changes, came from the bottom and not from the top, is so unacceptable for Americans who are ready to fight for any kind of politicians, whether it be Obama, Hillary, Trump, I don't know, Corbyn, Johnson, absolutely does not matter what the name you will put there. Any politician in the world, any politician of any country today, people so get used to fight for some leader, even Putin can be put here. People so get used to fight for leaders. People so get used to fight for some particular country, or I don't know. It doesn't matter really, but it doesn't matter who they're going to fight for. But the leadership must come from the top for Americans. It just can't be that demand from the bottom pushed and how to say it, enforced, I guess, enforced by major public, the working people, workers themselves. And Americans so get used to this idea that you can't do anything, you can't act, you supposed to point it all out, like Anita Sarkeesian said. It's ridiculously, hilariously funny how Anita Sarkeesian represents all Americans, quote unquote, because American way of thinking, it's not just American nation. Anita Sarkeesian represented everything. She said that everything is that, everything is this, everything is that, and you have to point it all out. And that's it. And the phrase stops there. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to create a revolutionary movement. You don't have to fight in reality for anything except your own personal interest. And you don't have to do anything. You have to point it all out. You have to demand that political elites, that for all history of any country, any capitalist country, fought against the working people, fought to enrich themselves, not major population. For all the history of capitalism, capitalists was fighting for their own profits, for their own capital, and never fought for the working people. And today you have to only demand from those people who for centuries never do anything for the working people. You will have to only demand from them without no real threat of violence, real threat of termination, real threat of taking away their property, etc. All you have to do is demand, and elites will suddenly, all of a sudden, change and do something for you. Why? This is just baffling my mind that Americans so get used to this idea of I don't have to do anything. All I have to do is simply point it all out and someone else will do something for me. I will carry my gun, but I will do nothing with it. I will hold the whole basement of my ammunition, but I will do not anything with that. They will simply get rotten and wasted. And all I'm going to do is just simply bad-mouthing and talking and talking and talking and talking. That's the point. You so get used to live in situation of all talks, no actions. Absolutely zero actions. And another thing that you fighting for any kind of political leader. You going to kill people for any kind of political leader, and you will never ever going to fight for rights of the working people, for rights of the working class, for the rights of your own fellow citizen workers, blue collar workers. You will never do that. I don't know why. And still, it's absolutely okay in American mind that you don't have to fight for anything except political leaders. That's just ridiculous. And at the same time, you running around and saying that all politics is bad, government is bad, yada yada yada, and yet you're fighting for them, you're voting for them, you hope that someday something will change. And 100 years since the Russian Revolution, nothing changed in the United States. Yes, they provide higher standards of living for you for a very short period of time. If you forget that this kind of life in the United States and in Europe only lasts for past 70 years. Before that, before World War II, in Europe, in United States, life was terrible, just simply awful. And you so get used to this idea that we lived like that for past 70 years and therefore we're going to live like that forever. It's just ridiculous.